Hello and welcome to Wargame Wednesday, episode 11. This week, me and G will be playing Infinity again, because we enjoyed it so much last week that we decided we're just going to do a month of Infinity.
Yeah, we're just going to focus on this game for a month.
Yeah.
It's basically because we can't get Firestorm Armada ships, so let's be real here.
Yeah, that's true. No, also,
They're
with the
never
time constraints we've been having...
yeah, our games have to be...
Infinity fits in our time frame much easier than Firestorm Armada does, because our Firestorm Armada games take 6 hours.
They literally do.
Yeah, I know, it's bad.
They're only going to get worse.
Such a good game, though, but just takes 100 millennia to play. So this week, we're playing on an indoor map that we got from AT43. So we're treating all of the walls on this indoor map that you can see around, yes, as walls. So we have to go around them. You can't draw a line of sight through them. Additionally, we've spread out a bunch of terrain to break up lines of sight. As we mentioned last week, you don't want to create more than 16 inches of unbroken line of sight 18 inches of unbroken line of sight in Infinity. And this week we're playing a mission that we got from a forum. That's a scientist extraction mission. So
I probably should have got the name of the guy who wrote it, but I don't.
Yeah, you probably should have.
But I am going to be posting the video.
It's okay. You can put text over it.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 scientists which are being stood in for by Imperial Guard models from.
Because we hate 40k.
That's right.
If they die, we don't care.
That's right. One over there, one in the center, and one over there. These figures will move randomly until such time. Oh, first of all, when we start, we have to declare one of the scientists friendly to each of our factions, thereby making them hostile to the other player. And then, when you get in base contact with the friendly one, it automatically just starts to follow the model that gets in base contact with it. When you're talking about any of the other two, you have to make, I believe it's a willpower roll. We will check before that circumstance comes up.
Willpower roll.
And then you got to try and get the scientists to follow you and stay alive to the extraction zone for each player, which is their deployment zone. And if you get them into your extraction zone, you can spend an order to get the model and the scientist, the model leading the scientist and the scientist extracted, and you get points for extracting the scientist and the guy that extracts. You additionally, you suffer penalties in this mission for killing a scientist, and for any of your guys that dies, you have to basically dispose of the bodies so you don't leave any evidence, because this is supposed to be a top secret mission.
It's Black Ops.
So you lose points if any of your guys are left, the corpses are left around on display. So we've set up where the scientists are going to be located, and we deploy terrain. So now we're going to deploy our forces, and we'll be back at the conclusion of the first turn.
Yep. Okay, so we're at the end of the first turn. You didn't get to see it because we forgot to film our deployment, but I placed 2 Zanshis here with the Shanji...
Invincible?
God damn. Oh. I placed the Domaru where he is, the Celestial Guard here, the Zanshi was here.
Yep.
That was basically my deployment. On my move, I moved up here, put suppression fire on Lorenzo's phone. Suppression fire, that way if Lorenzo tried to bring his 0 this way, death.
Yep.
And this guy here, in case anybody tried to go for my scientist.
Yep.
That was
and
really
you moved
all
up
I could do
this
Zanshi here with my last order. That was really all I could do because, the scientists were here, and in this room where I had no chance of
now, this scientist, well, my deployment on my back edge behind that box, you can still see 2 of them. I have a Securitat, my mobile Brigada over there on the left side there, and I have one of my Agulacils there, and I had 2 Agulacils on either side of that opening that's behind the white crate that's kind of hard to see from here. In fact, I'm gonna, freestyle camera movement. Enjoy your dizziness. Okay, the other side of that opening right there. Yeah. Now, I used, I infiltrated my 0 right next to this scientist and passed my whip roll to, what's the thing? Sync. To sync, and then used a few orders to get him into my extraction zone and extracted him. And then with my remaining orders, I got this Agulacil up to this scientist that was over here and got him about that far. before I ran out of orders. So at this point, it's not really looking very good for G at the moment because I am fairly likely to be able to get, especially if I win and become the initiating player.
This game's over. This game's so over, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be able to get that scientist out. And in turn, also, I'm going to try and shoot his scientist, and then I'll have extracted my scientist.
And that ends the game. Right?
And that ends the game. So, as usual, we might end this one in 2 turns.
I love this game, though.
Yeah, no, it's a great game.
I just really think that we shouldn't be playing with starter armies anymore.
Yeah, the starter armies aren't entirely balanced. The nomads are about... See, the problem here is, one of the problems that I would actually have to say to the guy who wrote the scenario is, the 2 people playing this, if one side has models that can infiltrate and the other doesn't, like, you're fucked. Like, that does not work. Both sides have to have an equal number of infiltrating models. And if anything, I'd be really concerned about this game with if both armies had infiltrating models, because I could see, like, all 3 scientists getting taken out in the first turn, game's over. Like, infiltrating models kind of screw up this scenario a little bit.
You have to put in something that would be like, you can't deploy.
Yeah, infiltrators have to like deploy in their deployment zone.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
At least 12 inches away from scientists.
No, but it doesn't matter because with 6 orders on your first turn, I'm still getting there and getting him off the board. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like with a 4/4 move, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean we're supposed to play this scenario on a 4x4 table, but I really don't think the extra
No, the extra few. No, it doesn't because it's width. It's not depth.
Yeah.
Like, you can infiltrate up to the center line.
Yeah.
And the scientists have to be deployed on the center line. Right. So it's like, hi, I'm next to you.
Let's go. Friendly? I don't even need to sync.
Yeah.
Ciao.
No, I actually didn't use them on the friendly one because I was like, well, if I'm gonna be nowhere where I can get shot, I'll just send one of my Agulacils. Like, what the hell, right?
You can't get shot. There's a giant wall.
Right. So that was like,
we were supposed to play this on an indoor map, and that's what we did.
Right.
I'm kind of thinking we should probably try it on an outdoor map.
Well, no, I mean, the problem isn't the indoor map, it's this particular indoor map is not very suitable because all the scientists ended up on my half. Well, and there's one side of this board where I can get up to the scientist and there's no lanes of fire whatsoever for you to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, that scientist, if I go first, that scientist is getting out. Like, what are you going to do? With the way that crate is placed?
Oh, yeah.
And you placed that crate, the red block one, the white one. And you're boned because of that one.
What else was I supposed to do then?
No, I know, but it's the indoor map here I don't think is entirely suitable.
I'm actually pretty sure I'd still be boned even if that crate wasn't there. Because the angle...
Well, no, you could at least develop lines of fire from this guy.
That crate would block it.
Oh, that's true.
The bullet would have to go like this and then down.
Yeah, alright then. So we'll be back at the end of turn 2 and see if the game's over or not. So here we are at the end of turn 2, and as it turns out, as we predicted, the end of the game. I won the initiative roll to go first, and I used that to get my Agulacil with the friendly scientist over to the evacuation template, which I put them back there so you can see them.
You know you didn't.
To get them out. So because I evacuated 2 scientists and 2 models with those scientists, that's a total of 8 points for me. I also attempted to get my, well, I'm going to have to move the camera because you can't see this.
Shouldn't be there.
Right, but I put her there to demonstrate that she tried to, I tried to get my Securitat through here to get them up there to shoot his scientist and end the game immediately. However, my Securitat died to the first ARO that it faced. And then I had to use 2 orders from my Mobile Brigada right there because I had to use the flamethrower twice to successfully incinerate the body, so I wouldn't lose an extra point for that.
Basically, Chuck the Zanshi came in big.
Yep.
Came in huge.
G then used his orders to get his friendly scientist out to evacuate. However, as this ends the game, I have 8 points and he has 4.
Well, it was really that was it.
That was it. So it's game over, and I won.
This is the shortest game of Infinity I've ever seen.
No, it isn't. Our first game was 2 turns as well, actually.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't count though, because no one saw that one.
Yeah, no, I know, because it was too short to even release.
I can't even believe we're gonna have to release this one. At least this was a credible game, though.
It was a credible game. It's just the way the terrain, the way the map worked out. And the fact that I had an infiltrator, like, you had no chance.
Yeah, there wasn't much we could do.
You know? I mean, without the infiltrator, there would have at least been somewhat of a contest.
Yeah.
But to me, what was the biggest issue, as I mentioned before, is that there's one side of this map where it's like you have no way to get there without going through all the way to my deployment zone.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I had that scientist in the bag from the beginning. I didn't even have to worry about it because he couldn't move anywhere that wouldn't bring him closer to my deployment zone.
Exactly.
Even if he was moving randomly, he would just be moving. He would either be into a wall or closer to my deployment zone.
Exactly.
So
the thing is, I don't have any I'm not saying the name. The Asian themed army. I got
Yu Jing.
No, it's like Chu Chen or something. I'm not.
Whatever.
See, we're not getting into it. Anyway, the Asian themed army has in their starter kit no nothing. I have no concealment. I have no advanced deployment. There's nothing. So I don't even have impetuous unless I kill somebody, and that's not gonna happen on this map. So I really don't have any way to get to move fast.
Yeah.
To get there, whereas you have the 0,
Yeah.
you just drop next to a guy.
I think my thoughts on this scenario
I think
are.
if you don't have these two.
Well, I think there needs to be some sort of significant incentive for killing enemy dudes in addition to the scenario, because as it stood right now,
There's no victory. Yeah.
yeah, for me it's like once I got those 2 scientists, it's like turtle.
Yeah, and even
That's it.
even when I bagged your Securitot, I got nothing from it.
Yeah,
I killed the guy, got nothing.
yeah.
Like,
So it's like, that doesn't. There
yeah.
needs to be maybe 2 points for every enemy soldier you kill or something.
yeah.
Something to balance it out, so there's a reason to actually engage in combat, because
Right.
as it stands in this
There is
scenario,
none.
you want to avoid combat at all costs.
Almost completely.
Yeah, as much as you can avoid combat while extracting scientists, you're better off.
Yeah, you getting that Securitot killed would have hurt you if you didn't get the flamethrower in the meat.
Right. Yeah, if it was
Which means that avoiding combat is probably what you want to do.
right. So I think I have somewhat of an issue with that.
I'd like to just point out that this scenario is in the draft format. The reason
Yeah.
I decided to play it was because I was going to post this video specifically so the guy had an idea of how we played it, what we did.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and assuming we played it correctly.
If you're not watching this from
Yeah.
the Infinity website, then that's why we played the scenario. That's why we're talking about the issues
Right.
that we found.
Yes.
Now we're new to the game. We might be completely off base.
We might be doing something horribly wrong, but for me it was there's no incentive to actually engage in combat in this scenario.
Right.
It's like once I had a couple of scientists, I was like sneak around, get to the extraction point, and ciao.
Yeah. And that was it. Even if I didn't evacuate my scientist, you would have just evacuated the rest of your guys because you get points for that.
Right.
So you would have just gone up in points. That's why I had to evacuate the guy there. It wasn't like I was going to get a shot to kill you.
Right.
Because we would have to roll again for willpower. And if you had won, you would have evacuated everybody, and then I would have been standing there holding the scientist doing
but even if I didn't win, I mean, you would have been able to get one person in range with the amount of orders you have right now.
That's true.
Right?
This guy.
That would have got
Chuck.
flamethrowered. That my mobile brigada would have been like,
Hi.
hi, whoosh. And then I would have evacuated all my models.
And Chuck did good. I feel bad saying
Yeah, I know. No, Chuck did good. He did good things, but, that's just the way the scenario worked out was... there's not enough incentive to engage in combat, not enough of a way to get... If somebody gets 2 scientists, the other player's fucked.
Yeah.
Basically,
I really do like this game.
I think it would almost be better with just 2 scientists.
Yeah?
Because then if you get 1 scientist each, then you need to start working on other ways of getting victory points.
Right.
Right? With 3 scientists, if you get 2 of them, it's like, well, I'm ahead so far, I'm just going to evacuate my dudes and ciao.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think if you add in you get points for killing guys,
Yeah.
plus the penalty for leaving the bodies there,
Yeah.
plus only having 2 scientists, you're pretty much set.
Yeah, I think.
That'd be a lot better.
Yeah, at least that's my opinion. So, all right, that's it for Wargame Wednesday, episode 11. Join us next week when we'll be playing Infinity again, and we're going to try and come up with a scenario that
I may actually have a panel military order army by then.
Yeah, and
Because this shit cannot be allowed to continue.
Right, and I'm going to figure out what army I want to play because his panel list scares me. And yeah, so and we're gonna try and come up with a scenario that can't be beaten in 2 turns. So until then,
I really want to play the zombie one.
there's a zombie scenario.
There's one where there's a zombie infestation. There's a zombie outbreak. We're totally gonna talk about this. If you don't want to watch the video at this point, we don't feel bad. But there's a zombie outbreak in a subway, and there's people trapped with the zombies in the subway, and you have to go through the subway killing zombies and evacuating civilians, but the other player has like a team that needs to stop your team, but the zombies are like drawn to sound, so if you shoot, zombies attack you. So like you have to deal with civilians, zombies, and the other player trying to stop you from evacuating civilians.
Wow.
It's amazing. I read
That's
the scenario
awesome.
and I was like, we need to play this.
Yeah, I want to do that. That sounds like fun.
It was really the way I read it. It sounded awesome.
All right,
Maybe
until
that's
next
what we'll do
week.
next week.
Until next week, that was Wargame Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Break up lines of sight. As we mentioned last week, you don't want to create more than 16 inches of unbroken line of sight
18 inches.
18 inches of unbroken line of sight in Infinity. And this week we're playing a mission that we got from a forum. That's a scientist extraction mission. So
I probably
there's.
should have got the name of the guy who wrote it, but I don't.
Yeah, you probably should have.
But I am going to be posting the video.
It's
in his
okay.
thread, 'cause
You
he
can
asked
you
for
can put
background.
text over it.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 scientists which are being stood in for by Imperial Guard models from.
Because we hate 40k.
That's
and
right.
If they die, we don't care.
That's right. One over there, one in the center, and one over there. These figures will move randomly until such time. Oh, first of all, when we start, we have to declare one of the scientists friendly to each of our factions, thereby making them hostile to the other player. And then when you get in base contact with the friendly one, it automatically just starts to follow the model that gets in base contact with it. When you're talking about easier than Firestorm Armada does, because our Firestorm Armada games take 6 hours.
They literally do.
Yeah, I know, it's bad.
They're only going to get worse.
Such a good game though, but just takes 100 millennia to play. So this week we're playing on an indoor map that we got from AT43. So we're treating all of the walls on this indoor map that you can see around. Yes, as walls, so we have to go around them. You can't draw a line of sight through them. Additionally, we've spread out a bunch of terrain to. Hello and welcome to Wargame Wednesday, episode 11. This week, me and G will be playing Infinity again, because we enjoyed it so much last week that we decided we're just going to do a month of Infinity.
Yeah, we're just going to focus on this game for a month.
Yeah.
It's basically because we can't get Firestorm Armada ships, so let's be real here.
Yeah, that's true. No, also,
They're
with the
never
time constraints we've been having...
Yeah, our games have had to be a lot
Infinity,
shorter.
yeah, Infinity fits in our time frame much easier. Any of the other two, you have to make, I believe it's a willpower roll. We will check before that circumstance
it's
comes
a
up.
willpower roll.
And then you've got to try and get the scientists to follow you and stay alive to the extraction zone for each player, which is
the deployment zone.
which is their deployment zone. And if you get them into the into your extraction zone, you can spend an order to get the model and the scientist, the model leading the scientist and the scientist